A ball. Laura laughs if she sees a ball bounce. I don't think it's funny. I wonder if I used to laugh at a ball bouncing when I was 2, like Laura. And if I used to laugh, why did I stop? Conversations with a 2-year-old. Do you want an apple? No. What do you want then? An apple. Do you want something to eat? No. Do you want some puffed wheat? Yes. What are you doing? Got my pockets in my hands. What's the time? 24 hours ago. Go wash your hands in the bathroom. My hands aren't in the bathroom. What's the matter? I've got a headache in my foot. Now what's the matter? I've got a tummy ache in my head. Are you all right? I done saw a funny noise. Shut your mouth when you're eating. Shut your mouth when you're eating. I am, Dad. Mouth. It is shut. I can see it isn't. I can hear it isn't. What about his mouth? You can see everything in his mouth. He's only 2. He doesn't know any better. You can see all his peas and tomato sauce. That's none of your business. 2 minutes go by. Dad? Yes? Your mouth's open. Shut your mouth when you're eating, Dad. It is shut, thank you very much. I can see it isn't, Dad. I can see all the food in there. Look, that's my business, okay? Peas, gravy, spuds, everything. Look, you don't want to grow up to be as horrible as your father, do you? Answer that, smarty pants. Laura's singing. Laura is 4. When Laura sings songs, she stands in front of you, she opens her mouth really wide, she opens her eyes really wide, she opens her arms really wide, she takes in huge breaths, and out comes this huge sing-song sound that goes on and on and on in great waves with hundreds of different words and noises. Happy, happy, happy birthday cake, happy birthday cake, the cake, the cake, the door, and the door, and the door is open. Merry, 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 da-dee-dee-dee, dabba-dee-dee. Naomi go to school, yes, oh yes, my pyjamas go to school, pyjamas go to school. Merry, 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 the dolly is on the water, the book is on the water, the paper's on the water, on the water, the water, on the water. I went on the phone, I called the phone, I went in the ta-ta, I went in the boo-boo, I went in another boo, shop shopping, shop shopping, shop shopping. I make a pizza, the pizza, mucky pizza, pizza in the bathroom. I eat the bathroom, I eat the door, I eat the bath. I'm tired now, I'm not sing anymore, she says, and we have to go, hooray, hooray, lovely singing, and clap our hands. Otherwise, she'll get angry with us. It would be great if you subscribed, that is, become a subscriber. That way you get to see when I post up new vids. The child who was wild. Once there was a woman, a young woman. She ran from the city, the old city. She ran to the woods, the deep dark woods. She wasn't seen for days, many days. She came out of the woods, the deep dark woods. She came with a child who was wild. She brought the child to the city, the old city. He grew and he grew. He grew and he grew. His hands grew shoots, green shoots and leaves. His shoulders grew flowers, the lily and the rose. His hair was the blossom that blows in the wind. He stood in the city, the old city, with the leaves, the flowers and the blossom falling on grey gravel. May. A woman called May used to look after us sometimes. Her husband was a bus conductor and he could wink with both eyes. Fantastic! We used to meet him on the bus, and when we got our tickets off him, if we were lucky, he'd wink one eye, then wink the other eye, again and again, really fast. Fantastic! But best was May. When she came over after tea, we played games. My favourite was Raisins. This is how we played raisins. We tipped the raisins out of the raisins jar and we each guessed how many raisins there were. 148, I'd say. 231, May'd say. Then we took one raisin each, counting. I take one, put it in my mouth. May takes one, 2, she puts it in her mouth. I take 1, 3 into my mouth. May takes 1, 4 in her mouth, and so it went on. 131 in my mouth, 132 in her mouth. I love raisins, all chewy and sweet. 201 in my mouth, 202 in May's mouth, 203, last one in my mouth. May had guessed best. She had guessed 231. But now we'd eaten all the raisins. They were all gone. The jar was empty. Could be trouble. Anyway, then it was bedtime. At tea time the next day, we were having fruit salad, and my brother said, I'll have raisins on this. He went to the cupboard and he saw the empty jar and he goes, where have all the raisins gone? The jar was full yesterday. Mum, he's eaten them all. Look at his face. You can see he's eaten them. Tell him off, Mum, tell him off. And Mum says to me, did you eat them? And I say, me and May did. And my brother says, see, I told you, it's not fair, Mum. He's a greedy little pig. And then a picture came into my mind of the night before of me and May counting the raisins into our mouths, all chewy and sweet. So I said, I'm not a greedy little pig. And Mum said to my brother, raisins don't last all week, you know. But I didn't tell anyone about our game. Raisins, 203. Mart was my best friend. Mart was my best friend. I thought he was great. But one day, he tried to do for me. I had a hat, a woolly one, and I loved that hat. It was warm and tight. My mum had knitted it, and I wore it everywhere. One day, me and Mart, we were out, and we were standing at a bus stop, and suddenly he goes and grabs my hat and chucked it over the wall. He thought I was going to go in there and get it out. He thought he'd make me do that because he knew I liked that hat so much I wouldn't be able to stand being without it. He was right. I could hardly bear it. I was really scared I'd never get it back, but I never let on. I never showed it on my face. I just waited. Aren't you going to get your hat? He says. Your hat's gone, he says. Your hat's over the wall. I looked the other way. But I could still feel on my head how he had pulled it off. Your hat's over the wall, he says. I didn't say a thing. Then the bus came round the corner at the end of the road. If I go home without my hat, I'm going to walk through the door and Mum's going to say, where's your hat? And if I say, it's over a wall, she's going to say, well, what's it doing there? And I'm going to say, Mart chucked it over. And she's going to say, well, why didn't you go for it? And what am I going to say then? What am I going to say then? The bus was coming up. Aren't you going over for your hat? There won't be another bus for ages, Mart says. The bus stopped. I got on. Mart got on. The bus moved off. You've lost your hat, Mart says. You've lost your hat, Mart says. 2 stops ahead was our stop. Are you going indoors without it, Mart says. I didn't say a thing. The bus stopped. Mart got up and dashed downstairs. He had got off 1 stop early. I got off when we got to our stop. I went home, walked through the door. Where's your hat, Mum says. Over a wall, I said. Oh, what's it doing there, she says. Mart chucked it over there, I said. But you haven't left it there, have you, she says. Yeah, I said. Well, don't you ever come asking me to make you anything like that again. You make me tired, you do, she says. Later, I was drinking some orange juice. The front doorbell rang. It was Mart. He had the hat in his hand. He handed it to me and went. I shut the front door, put on the hat, walked into the kitchen. Mum looked up. You don't need to wear your hat indoors, do you, she said. I will for a bit, I said. And I did. Harrybo. Once my friend Harrybo came to school crying. We said, "What's the matter? What's the matter?" And he said his granddad had died. So he didn't know what to say. Then I said, "How did he die?" And he said, "He was standing on St Pancras station waiting for the train and he just fell over and died." And then he started crying again. He was a nice man, Harrybo's granddad. He had a shed with tins full of screws in it. Mind you, my gran was nice too. She gave me and my brother a red shoehorn each. Maybe Harrybo's granddad gave Harrybo a red shoehorn. Dave said, "My hamster died as well." So everyone said, "Shh." And Dave said, "I was only saying." And I said, "My gran gave me a red shoehorn." Rog said, "I got a pair of trainers for Christmas." And Harrybo said, "You can get ones without laces." And we all said, "Yeah, no, that's right, Harrybo, you can." Any other day we'd have said, "Of course you can. We know that, you fool." But that day we said, "Yeah, that's right, Harrybo. Yeah, no, you can, yeah." Cool guy and fool guy. Cool guy met fool guy going down the street. Said cool guy to fool guy, "Who you gonna meet?" Said fool guy to cool guy, "I don't want no meat." Said cool guy to fool guy, "I mean meat, not meat." Car school. One day a car pulled up at our school and said, "I'm your new head teacher." The old head teacher was taken out the back and put in a skip, and the car drove into her office. The car changed the name of our school. It was called Car School, and we got a new uniform that had a picture of a car on the front pocket. The mayor came to our school and said how lucky we were that the car had come and was sharing with us all that it knew about cars. Car School was in the local newspaper. Everyone wanted to go to Car School. To get in, you had to do a car test. There were questions about cars. The mayor said that cars had a lot to offer to the community so that we could all move forward. Some of the old teachers left, and the new teachers were cars. Blue, red, silver, dark green. A boy in my class wrote a story about a car that ran someone over. He was asked to see the head teacher, and we never saw him again. A woman came to the school to talk about road safety, and she said how going by bus was a good idea. One of the cars stood up and said that what she was saying was unbalanced and unfair. I go to car school. Brum! That's our school song. Boogie, woogie, buggy. I glide as I ride in my boogie, woogie, buggy. Take the corners wide, just see me drive. I'm an easy, speedy baby doing the baby buggy jive. Yeah, I'm in and out the shops. I'm the one that never stops. I'm the one that feels the beat of the wheels. All that air in my hair. I streak down the street between the feet that I meet. I streak down the street between the feet that I meet. No one can catch my boogie woogie buggy. No one's got the pace. I rule this place. I'm a baby who knows. I'm a baby who goes. Baby goes. There was this little boy. He couldn't face going to school. His mum and dad went to work, and he secretly stayed at home. He rang the school and put on a very deep voice and said, "I'm very sorry, but Alfie won't be at school today." "Oh, yes," said the school secretary, "and who's speaking?" "My dad," said Alfie. Last word. Dad says, "Stop doing that." So the boy stuck his tongue out. Dad says, "Don't stick your tongue out at me." So the boy says, "I'm not. I'm just licking my lips." Later, bang, 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 bang. Dad says, "Stop jumping up and down up there. I can't stand the noise." And the girl says, "I'm not jumping. I'm hopping. And Dad says, some people always get the last word. The toddlers. Look, the toddlers are running away. The toddlers are on the run. Look at them on the beaches. Look at them in the sun. It's toddlers in supermarkets, toddlers in the mall. It's toddlers in the park and toddlers with a ball. Yes, the toddlers are on the run, toddlers running away. The toddlers are quick, toddlers doing it today. They've just learnt how to talk. They've just learnt how to walk. They've just learnt feeding. Now they've taken up speeding. They think you'll never catch them. They think you're much too slow. They think you're much too tall and you can't bend down low. Hear them whoop, shout and scream. Hear them laugh, squeal and giggle. If you do manage to grab them, get set for toddlers to wriggle. They've tasted the fun, they've tasted the sun. They've done running away. They're doing it today. If it's in a park or it's in a shop, the toddlers just don't want it to stop. This poem comes from Jelly Boots, Smelly Boots with wonderful pictures by David Tasman, published by Bloomsbury. Nursery. My mum says, once I came home from nursery with a sulky look on my face. What's the matter, she said. I said nothing. What's the matter, she said. I said nothing. What's the matter? I had to sit on the naughty chair. Why did you have to sit on the naughty chair? I said nothing. Why did you have to sit on the naughty chair? Because I was being naughty. Yes, I guessed that, she said, but what were you doing? I was playing about at singing time. I wasn't singing the right things. Well, what was everyone singing? Baa Baa Black Sheep. And what were you singing? Baa Baa Moo Moo. It would be great if you subscribed, that is, become a subscriber. That way you get to see when I post up new vids.